Come join our family of 6 on our 2-week, 1,870-mile road trip in our modified Lance 2185 travel trailer from Utah to Arizona and back to see the Parowan petroglyphs, the Valley of Fire, Lake Mead and the Hoover Dam, Lake Havasu, Quartzsite, Friends in Phoenix, canyoneering near Tortilla Flat, Goldfield Ghost Town and Mine, Sedona, Arizona, the Grand Canyon, Horseshoe Bend, and the Coral Pink Sand Dunes before driving through snow back home. This is our first big road trip after all our modifications to make our travel trailer fully electrically powered by 2,650 watts of solar panels on the roof and 9.6 kilowatt hours of lithium iron phosphate batteries, as well as Starlink for internet connectivity. Click on the card above to watch the overview video of all our modifications, which enabled us to never use our generator or any propane throughout the entire trip. This was also the first trip with James, who was born 9 weeks before we departed. Being in February, we used our heat pump mini split for both heating overnight in below freezing temperatures in Utah and a little bit of cooling in Quartzsite, Arizona. Throughout the trip, we only boondocked on free public lands with one exception of mooch-docking in a friend's driveway in Phoenix. Come join us while we explore beautiful new places and test the performance of our fully sun-powered travel trailer in the real world. In our last episode, we arrived at this boondocking area, which is 16 miles south of the Grand Canyon Southside Visitor Center. I'll put a card above to that video. Hey girls, how did you sleep last night?
Good.
It got really cold. It got down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside last night. And I left the mini split off just to save power until about 4:30 in the morning. I turned it on when it got cold and we were feeding James. And now the battery's down to 31%, where it was at about 65% when we went to bed. So anyway, we're nice and warm here now, right here underneath the mini split. What are you doing?
Eating breakfast.
Yeah? What are you eating for breakfast?
Oatmeal.
Yeah?
And mine is bananas. Strawberries and cream.
Strawberries and cream. And Claire? Peaches and cream.
Bananas.
Bananas and cream. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
How did you sleep last night? Were you cold?
Perfect. I was cold.
You were cold? You were perfect, Lydia?
I was cold and then hot. Cold and then hot.
Okay. Well, outside yesterday it got down to 20 degrees. Right now it's showing 24, if you can see that. And it's 72 inside right now, but I let it get down to like 45 last night because I just left the mini split off and we went to sleep, and then we woke up around 4:30 in the morning to feed James, and it was cold enough. I just decided to turn on the mini split. When we had gone to bed, the battery was around 60, I'll put it here on the screen, but it was in the 60% range. And then later when I turned on the mini split, it had gone down about 17%. My laptop was on all night uploading videos to my home computer, and Starlink was connected. So those were the main draws throughout the night. This morning, so it had gone down about 17% until about 4:30 in the morning, and then I turned on the mini split, and then it dropped another 15 or 20%. As of right now, it's 24%. So we're definitely using it to use the microwave, and the mini split we've ramped up this morning to warm it up in here. So in any case, we're going to pack up this morning and we're going to head to the southern entrance of the Grand Canyon, and we're going to explore the rim trail, and then we will continue on to the Coral Pink Sand Dunes.
Yeah.
Are you excited, Lucy?
Mm-hmm.
What is the number one thing that you've been waiting for this whole trip?
The Grand Canyon.
Yeah?
And the Coral Pink Sand Dunes.
Well, then it's going to be a great day today.
Yeah!
Alright, let's go. We've arrived at the south rim of the Grand Canyon Visitor Center parking lot. And so right over this way is Mather Point. We're going to go kind of just exploring this area. It's a little bit chilly, so we're probably not going to be doing any significant hiking. Here's a map of where we are. Alright, is it cold, girls?
Yes.
Alright, let's go down the trail. Hey girls, do you know how big the Grand Canyon is?
No.
Do you know how deep it is at its deepest point?
No.
6,000 feet
I
deep.
need to get running so I can get running.
Alright, you can run. Let's go see it. Wow.
Whoa. This is the Grand Canyon.
Yes. What do you think, Clara?
Like it.
You like it? Is it big?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice pose, Lydia.
I'm way taller than Mommy.
Yep. Pretty cool view.
We just do that.
So girls, now that you've seen it, what do you think of the Grand Canyon?
I don't know.
Do you think it's grand?
That's the Colorado River. And you see the trail coming up out of it?
No.
When people hike out, that's where they go. Lydia, what's your favorite part?
All of it.
All of it. Lucy, what's your favorite part?
All of it.
I like all the different stripes.
Yeah, the coloring looks really cool.
I like all of it.
After exploring the views at a couple different lookouts, we were all cold and decided to continue on our adventure. At this point on our trip, the weather was getting cold enough that we decided we were only going to stop one more place on our way home to the Salt Lake City, Utah area. That one place was going to be the Coral Pink Sand Dunes, which our girls have been requesting constantly since we were there last summer for the first time during our trip to the Cane Beds, Arizona area. I'll put a card above to the video I made of that trip. This next segment of driving from where we were at the Grand Canyon to our next stop at Horseshoe Bend was 132 miles and took us about 2.5 hours to drive. Initially, the drive was wooded and at this time of year had snow here and there still on the ground. Then, slowly the trees thinned and eventually gave way to open desert with sweeping views of the eastern end of the Grand Canyon. When we got to Highway 89, we headed north. There were some really steep grades there that were quite slow and taxing for our truck to get up.
Then me and Daddy had to help Mother look for the pacifier speedy quick, 'cause she was losing her grip, I think.
The views were incredible though, of amazing desert vistas with many beautiful red rock formations, as well as cool views where the highway has cut through some mountains. The farther we went, the lighter the red became as it transitioned into the look that surrounds the Zion National Park area in southern Utah. We left the Grand Canyon roughly 2 hours ago, and we are now at Horseshoe Bend, which is up by Page, Arizona. And let's go check on the trailer and see how much it has charged since we were driving, and then we're going to go and check out Horseshoe Bend. So the trailer battery is up to 77%, and we're still charging at just over 700 watts. Do you know what the Horseshoe Bend is?
No. All I know is that it's a horseshoe made of nature. Yeah.
Let's go see it. James enjoying this?
James is having so much fun.
Let me see if I can get him. There he is. Hey, James.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, James. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Girls, how's the hike going?
Oh, yeah.
In the story of the tortoise and the hare, Lydia is the hare. Bye. Look at her go. There's our first view of the point of the Horseshoe Bend. Right there in the center of the screen, you can see the center part of the horseshoe, and then the gaps on either side are where the river goes. We'll be there in a couple of minutes. Well, so far my experience with the hike to the Horseshoe Bend is that it is actually a very easy hike. I'm sure it'll be much hotter in the summer, obviously. And for us, it's about 62 degrees and very windy. But the girls are having a lot of fun just hiking here.
That I want to climb on all the rocks, but not the ones that are far away.
Okay. Let's see what we can see now, Lydia. No, keep holding my hand. What? Wow.
Wow.
That is so cool.
I see water.
What do you think, Lydia?
I like it.
The water is the horseshoe. So look for that when you look over.
I see
Now
it.
do you see it?
I see it.
What do you think, Lucy? Is it what you expected?
Yeah.
After gazing at the vista before us for a while and taking some family pictures, the girls mostly just wanted to play in the rocks and sand nearby. So we let them do that for a bit, and then we hiked back to the truck to continue our drive to the Coral Pink Sand Dunes.
Clara, what are you doing with the sand?
Setting these rocks all sparkly by putting the sand on them.
Oh, so you just put sand on them like that and it makes them pretty?
Yeah.
Lydia, what did you think?
With these places? Yeah. I'm scared that I fall off.
Sometimes you're scared that you'll fall off at these places. That's understandable.
I was hot.
Yeah. It's like windy and 63, and yet they're still hot. There he is. He's deep asleep. We're back from the hike, and while we were away, the RV charged up to 86%, and we're still getting 600 watts of solar. Well, the damage at this pump is $84.36 for 22.502 gallons, and that is at $3.74 a gallon. This is the bridge over the spillway of Lake Powell, or over the dam, rather.
You see that dam we're going over?
Clara, this is the Glen Canyon Dam, and we're crossing over a bridge that is right behind it. And that is Lake Powell behind the dam.
Just like the Hoover Dam, huh? But smaller.
Wow, this is a long bridge.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Hi. I like it.
Pretty grand.
Yep. It should be called Lake Grand.
Squirrel in your chimney. Snake in your toilet? I beg your pardon. Let me think, said Francine Poulet.
After driving an additional 95 miles over about 2 hours, we finally arrived at our next campsite. This boondocking area is just north of the Coral Pink Sand Dunes State Park entrance and is basically a parking lot made of sand with direct access to the sand dunes. There were hard and soft areas of sand, and our truck was in rear-wheel drive only when we arrived, and it started to spin a little bit in some parts as we parked. So it might be a good idea to head into it with four-wheel drive already turned on. Upon arriving, the girls explored the area as they always do at our campsites, and this one also had some ice on the ground, which the girls always have fun playing on. We don't have an ATV, but clearly this would be an awesome place to come play with one. The sand dunes stretch for about 3 miles on either side of where we're camped, but the main access area is south 2.8 miles, which we'll explore tomorrow. For tonight, though, while the girls explored the area, Jessie and I leveled the trailer and set it up. Then we got dinner ready, which we had held off longer than usual because we were relatively close, and sometimes it's just easier to adjust meal times with the natural timing of the adventure. We've arrived at the Coral Pink Sand Dunes, and it's a beautiful sunset, and we got set up right here, just kind of pulled up at this random spot. This area is just a giant parking lot for vehicles bringing sand toys like ATVs and whatnot. So nothing super glamorous about the camping, but we have it all to ourselves at this point, so that's pretty cool. Coming inside, checking on the battery to see how much we charged up while we were driving today, because we were driving the majority of the day. It shows 89 now, but it was actually 92 when we first got here, and our solar is almost completely gone. Right now we're just warming up dinner, and we'll go do some fun things and get the kids to bed eventually. Thanks for helping feed James. This has been their #1 requested location to come camping, and they just love this gigantic sand box. Hey girls, are you all ready for bed?
Yes.
You look super cozy in there with the bunk beds.
I'm blazing because I have two.
It's gonna get cold in here tonight.
Dad, can you show it to my piggy pop?
Oh, show your pygmy pop on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are
Are you ready to go to bed, Lucy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll read one more chapter in the book On the Banks of Plum Creek.
Bye everyone. Bye everyone. Everyone who might watch this video. Yeah.
We're going to bed, and the battery is currently at 80%. So we'll see where it is in the morning, leaving the mini split on at 65 degrees all night. Also presently inside it's 68.7 degrees, and outside it's 37.8 degrees. This is the Victron monitoring portal, which shows the electrical system from our trailer, and this is looking at February 15th, which was the day of that trip. So looking down here, you can see that this blue line shows the state of charge of the battery throughout the day. This is showing it in an hourly granularity, so each of these columns is 1 hour throughout the day. The red columns are the consumption energy pulled from the battery pack, and the orange columns are the solar production going into the battery pack. Now the width of this blue line shows the amount of change of the state of charge of the battery during that hour. So as an example here, the battery was being charged quickly from solar, and so it started out the hour at 53% and ended the hour at 68%. So starting over here at the beginning of the day, we can see that the energy consumption was relatively low, about 150 watts, continuous 130 watts. down here 90 watts even continuously that hour. And so it consumed 90 watt hours. And then if we jump over here, this is 5 a.m. So I had mentioned in the video about 4:30 or so is when I turned on the mini split. So that's where it's showing the energy consumption jumping up. And that you can see now was pulling about 440 watts throughout that hour. And it continued to pull up, the energy. It was pulling more energy, and then we woke up and started to cook breakfast and also warmed up the mini split. So we were pulling 1,000 watts throughout that hour right here. So that's 1.02 kilowatt hours during that hour. And then our battery consumption dropped off right here because we started traveling, and so the battery bottomed out at 21%. And then the solar took over, started to charge it up, although it was kind of a cloudy day, so it never actually got terribly sunny and didn't charge as much as it would have if it was sunny, obviously. And so you can see the state of charge climbing here. And then we ended up getting a peak of 1.76 kilowatt hours here at the middle of the day, about 1 o'clock, which is typical. And then the production dropped off throughout the afternoon, but we were traveling for so long that we continually did not use very much in electricity until all the way here at about 7 p.m. And so we look here, the battery peaked at 91%. I had said to 92%, but I guess I misread that, or I don't know what happened to the discrepancy, but that's really close. And so here we were warming up dinner, so we used some extra energy, but not a lot. And then I left the mini split on throughout the evening, so that's where it's showing this higher consumption right here. It was pretty cold at the Coral Pink Sand Dunes, so that's why I just left it on. And also, if you can see the state of charge up here on the battery, and we ended the state of charge at the end of the day at 72%. So looking up here at the aggregate totals for the day, we consumed a total of 6.1 kilowatt hours throughout the day, and our solar produced 8.9 kilowatt hours. The battery never filled up, so we know that 8.9 was the maximum capability of the solar panels in the conditions that we were in that day. In our next video, which is the last day of our 2-week adventure to Arizona, we hang out in the trailer while we get ready for the day and wait for the temperature outside to warm up a bit. Then we head to the sand dunes to play. We have fun there despite there being a significant amount of wind, and when we are funned out, we pack up the trailer and begin the trek home. We are welcomed home to northern Utah by a couple of snow squalls along the way and snow on the ground at home. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.